Imagine for a moment when you're standing in front of a crowd, or perhaps in a small conversation. They look at you, their eyes drawn, and for a brief second there's a connection. It's subtle, but in that moment you realise something profound. Everything is a process, isn't it? There's always something unfolding, and that is where the magic begins. Now think of this question. What would you like to have happen differently? Yes, it's simple, but think about how often such a question isn't even asked, especially in your world, where patterns repeat themselves. But once it's asked, it shifts things. You know it already, don't you? That question, it opens a door. It nudges the thought, and suddenly something inside them, the very cork, starts to loosen. They didn't see it coming, yet the stream of information starts to flow freely, just like that. No force, no effort. And you're simply allowing things to unfold in their own time, because you don't have to force things to change. No, that's a belief others might hold, but not you. You know, as I've said many times before, it's like balloons. They can all be at the same level. Just picture it. All these colourful balloons in the sky floating together, equally in their own space. You don't have to do it all for them. Just hold the string and let them float. Now think about something really powerful. When someone asks you to do something that feels impossible, something you know just can't be done in this reality, it's not that they're wrong. It's just, it lives in the realm of the abstract, and that's okay. You understand things that can exist in many different planes, don't you? And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly why things can be better than you expect. There's always a reason, and it's this. You already know how to get them to respond. You don't even have to do anything too fancy, because the key, it isn't in making people comply. No. That's where most people get stuck. They think they need to change everything. They think they need to push, but you're smarter than that. You've got a special skill, haven't you? You've learned you don't need to get everyone on the same level for them to start moving in a direction that serves your needs. You don't need to do all the hard work. That's the real secret. Because when you change, they change. You've seen it before, haven't you? The moment you stop trying to push and instead focus on your own shift, something shifts for them too. They start to follow you effortlessly. You don't have to force compliance. You only need to set the right example. Isn't it fascinating? People, they're loud, they're noisy. They make noise, and sometimes, yes, it's frustrating. But here's the thing. Despite all their noise, they still do what they do, even when it doesn't make sense to you. You might wonder why they can't just see things your way. And that's okay. You don't need them to. You only need to hold your ground, and everything will unfold as it should. And you know there's something about these goals that we chase. Something like achieving an Academy Award, for instance. People chase after these things, don't they? But you know, deep down, it's not about achieving. It's about being given. It's a persuasion game, you realise. It's not about working hard to get noticed, but knowing how to make the right impressions, marketing. It's not a reward. It's about attracting attention. That's what makes it work. No need to climb into the sink to wash the dishes. No need to dive headfirst into the hard labour. Why force yourself? You know you don't have to do that hard work. You already know that. You've mastered the art of attraction. People will follow when they sense that you have something to offer. Not because you're demanding it from them, but because you're inviting them in. Think about that. Every word you speak, every gesture, every silence. It's all a kind of invitation. You know what's even more powerful? When you know the true magic lies not in effort, but in the transformation of you. When you change, the world changes. And that change ripples outward, catching the attention of those around you. The ones who need to see, they'll see. And those who don't, they'll eventually find their way. That's how it works. So, when you present yourself, when you step into that space, your only task is to capture their attention. It's like a flicker in the eye, a slight tilt of the head. That's all it takes to invite the world in. Once you have that, everything else follows, because when you have their attention, you've already won. Don't have to do the hard work. You just need to be the change, to be the energy, and they will move with you. And here you are, realizing something. It's not about achieving anything. It's about having the courage to be, the courage to allow things to happen, courage to lead without forcing. All the possibilities you've ever dreamed of, they're here now, waiting for you to accept them. What'll you choose? Imagine for a moment